82. The Vanishing Hitchhiker. A man was driving down a deserted country road when suddenly a hitchhiker flagged him down. The man rolled down his window and asked where he was headed. "Anywhere," said the hitchhiker. "I'll take you anywhere." The man was a bit uneasy, but he continued driving. As they drove, the hitchhiker started disappearing little by little until he was completely gone. The man pulled over and got out. He rolled down the window and saw a man frantically motioning for help. Two friends were walking home late at night when they came across a tunnel. They hesitated, but then they decided to walk through it. As they walked, they started to feel a strange sensation, like they were being watched. Suddenly, the tunnel started closing in on them, and they ran as fast as they could. But the walls kept closing in, and they knew that if they didn't get out, they would be trapped forever. He was covered in blood. "Please," he said, his voice weak. "Help me." The man hesitated, but then he couldn't help himself. He reached out to try and grab the bleeding man when suddenly he felt a sharp pain in his arm. He screamed and pulled away, but the damage was done. The man had vanished, and now he was bleeding. Too late, he realized that he had just made a terrible mistake. He had touched an invisible wound. He looked around, but there was no sign of the hitchhiker. And then he noticed something strange. The hitchhiker's backpack was in the back seat, but it was slowly becoming transparent, too. Just as the man reached for it, the backpack vanished. He got back in his car and drove home. Number 81. The Static Channel. Jason's TV had a broken channel, one that was just static. She stopped to offer him a ride. "Thanks, but I'm almost home," he said. A girl was playing by a lake when she saw something floating in the water. She walked closer and saw that it was a doll. She reached in to grab it, but the doll had a hook for a hand and it pulled her in. She screamed for help, but no one could hear her. The doll dragged her deeper and deeper into the water until finally she'll let go. The last thing she saw was the doll's empty eyes staring back at her, but she insisted, and soon they were driving down his street. "Here we go," he said, reaching for the doorknob. As she watched, the hook-handed man disappeared, leaving her with a terrible feeling that she had just made a big mistake. Then she heard a knock on the window. It was the man. He was outside, but how? He gestured to his throat and mouthed the words, "I'm sorry." Then he vanished again. The woman screamed as she realized what she had done. She had just kidnapped an imaginary friend. But late at night, the static showed flickers of movement, a dark figure, a pale face, and one night, it showed him sleeping. The angle was from inside his closet. He unplugged the TV. It turned itself back on. The screen was blank until he was alone in the room. Then it whispered his name, syllable by syllable, like it was learning to speak. 80. The Hook Man. A woman was driving home from a party when she saw a man walking alongside the road with a hook for a hand. 79. The Doll in the Lake. 78. The Sound of Screaming. A man was driving home late at night when he heard a knock on his window. Number 77. The Tunnel. Stay tuned for more scary stories.